Hey y'all, it's Kasia and we're back with another video. So today's video, as y'all read the title already, is going to be about things that throw off your pH balance that you may or may not have already known. Some of these things are, in my opinion, kind of obvious, but some people aren't taught this or these things. They either have to find out the hard way or have to find out when they watch videos or talk to other people. So I know the school systems suck as far as not even sexual education, but just feminine hygiene in general. And some people, parents, or don't know, or they don't have parents, or they don't have anyone to teach them. So I'm here for you, girl. So let's start off with the very first thing: semen, sperm, whatever. Okay, so having unprotected sex and your partner coming in you can throw off your pH balance, because the pH of semen and the pH of your vagina is not the same. Your vagina is definitely more acidic and semen is more on the alkaline side. So for obvious reasons, the pHs being off or not being the same can throw it off. And that leads me into my next one really quickly. Blood. So the same reason that semen can throw off your pH balance is the same reason that blood can throw off your pH balance. The thing is, after you've had semen inside of you or you've had blood inside of you, your vagina is supposed to naturally regulate itself and return back to its original pH balance. Sometimes it does not. So there's a balance of good and bad, and they live cohesively, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, when your pH is what it's supposed to be. But when it's more alkaline or it is not where it's supposed to be for you, it allows an unbalance in the bacteria, which will lead to yeast infections, bacteria vaginosis. And when you have bacteria in your vagina, that bacteria can climb up your urethra and cause a UTI or a bladder infection, or depending on how far it goes. It starts as a UTI. Really, a UTI is a urinary tract. So anything along the urinary tract can be infected. Number 3 is spit or a mouth. So, yeah, some people don't have very good oral hygiene. And when you allow them to put their mouth on your vagina and their bacteria from their mouth and germs from their mouth and food debris, and they don't floss and they don't brush, or even if they do floss and brush, they can still hold bacteria. Maybe if they smoke cigarettes or smoke, let's just say smoke, because let's not get into specifics on what they may or may not be smoking. I'm not in nobody's business. But if they smoke different things, or maybe they have an infection in their teeth or their gums, a cavity, something, there's different things in the mouth that can throw off your pH balance when you allow people to put their mouth on your private parts. I know that I've heard that doctors say, oh no, oral sex won't cause BV. That's not true. Oral sex can definitely cause an infection just because of germs and bacteria in your mouth, and it's getting into your vagina. Number 4, and that is fingers. This goes back to hygiene, whether it's your fingers or the fingers of someone else. If their hands are not freshly washed with an antibacterial soap, that is not a good thing. And sometimes even with their hands being washed, it can still cause an infection of some sort, because under their fingernails can be dirty. So I personally would say keep the fingers away and out of the vagina. But if you must, make sure that either your hands or your fingernails or the person's fingernails that's putting their fingers inside of you are clipped very low and very much clean, and they are always freshly washed right before any sort of interaction. And I know that that could throw off the mood, but you know what else can throw off the mood? A stanky, itchy coochie. So that can throw off the mood. So which one's more important, guys? I think it's easy to make that choice. Number 5, soaps. So a lot of the pH balancing soaps and stuff like that, or scented soaps, they throw your pH balance off, because when it comes to the pH balancing soaps, your vagina is there's a range of acidity that your vagina is supposed to be in. That can be different from person to person. So a 3 for me and a 4 for you could be perfectly normal, but if switched, like if I ended up with a 4, that could be a problem, if that makes sense. So my perfect pH is not exactly the same as the next person's perfect pH, but there's a range of normal amongst women in general. I really hope that makes sense. So with that being said, a soap can't balance your pH, because if the soap is created to balance it to, say, a 4, but your perfect pH is a 3.5, that will throw your pH off, because that's not where your pH is supposed to be, if that makes sense. So that's why when you using those washes, it may work for some people, but then some people it may not work for it, and you kind of just take a risk and a gamble with that, and I just don't recommend it. So what I do recommend is an unscented bar soap. I personally use the Dove Sensitive. It is unscented, and when you're washing yourself, make sure you're not putting soap inside of your vaginal canal, because the inside of your vaginal canal is self-cleaning. Also, some people just use hot water, and I have just used hot water before. That's fine if that works for you. Number 6, pads. And I'm gonna just mix in number 6 and number 7 together, which is pads and tampons. So when you're using pads and tampons, some of them come scented, or some of them come with like little strips of something that's supposed to help absorb and stuff like that. Those are chemicals, and they are not good for your vagina. So I highly recommend using 100% natural cotton. I personally like the brand Lola, or there's another one, I think it's called Organic Initiative or something like that. I'll link a few in the description bar below if you guys are interested, but honestly, it'll say it on the container. It'll say 100% natural cotton. CVS has a brand it's the CVS brand, but I really like it. It doesn't cause any problems, so definitely be careful when using like Kotex and always a lot of those big name brands, because a lot of them do have chemicals in the pads. And also I saw it going around, some girls was like, oh, y'all need to get these. They may be honey pot, but I'm not sure. They were pads, and I looked at the ingredients, and I was like, y'all putting that on y'all coochie and in y'all coochie? I was flabbergasted, just to say the least. No. Especially if you have a sensitive vagina and you're prone to yeast infections, UTIs, and BV. Some people are not prone to those things, and certain products work for them. But 9 times out of 10, if you're here, you probably are prone to those things. So just to be on the safe side, you want to stay away from them. And then, I mean, just to be on the healthy side, I would stay away from them anyway, because why intentionally put chemicals into your body or onto your body? So number 8 is douches. Me personally, I think that this should be an obvious one, but it's not obvious for everybody, and that's fine. I'm not here to judge. Some people have gotten misinformation. So douches are absolute no-no. I've even heard people say, well, empty out the douche bottle and fill it with water, or fill it with I do not recommend using a douche and putting anything up your vagina. I just don't. It is more than possible to detox this way out. Your vagina is supposed to clean itself. Let me see. It's more of a, if you do use a douche, that's a quick fix. That is not going to cure you or get to the root cause of what's going on. Now, a suppository is different, but a douche, I do not recommend. They can be extremely drying to the vagina, and they can also further complicate whatever situation you already have going on down there. So if you have BV and you try to douche, it can definitely make you smell worse. You may smell better maybe for a small amount of time, but the next day is going to be worse. You don't want to worsen whatever you have going on down there for a quick fix or for a couple hours for it to smell better. You want to cure yourself or heal yourself so that you're not treating it and not making it better ultimately. So number 9, not bathing frequently enough. And this will go into 10. So not bathing frequently enough and then sweat. They go hand in hand. So if you're not bathing or showering frequently enough, you are letting bacteria and sweat kind of sit on your vagina or travel up your vagina, and that can definitely cause BV, yeast infections, and UTIs. So when I say frequently, that can mean every day for some people, but that can mean twice a day for some people. It just depends on the person. If you sweat a whole lot, if you really sweat, and I've noticed this about myself since I'm pregnant now, I sweat a lot more than I did before I was pregnant. So I have to take different hygiene measures than I did before when I was 125 pounds, because I'm 170 pounds now. There's a huge difference in my body. In me being pregnant, of course, I'm gonna sweat a lot more, or I have hormones. It's just different things. So if you sweat quite a bit, don't just sit in your sweat. Take a shower, you know what I mean? Take a bath or something like that. Don't wait till the next day to shower because, well, I took a shower today. Like, that's not a good reason. So yeah, not bathing frequently enough and sitting in that sweat and bacteria, not a good idea. One thing that I do like to do, like if I'm not leaving the house, I like to take a bird bath or, you know, freshen up and change my underwear. That really helps out a lot, because I don't like the feeling of moist underwear anyway. So if I'm having discharge or whatever the case may be, I'll just freshen up and change my underwear. Sometimes it doesn't call for a complete shower if you're not, you know, if you just in the house maybe. But sometimes it does. It just depends on how much you sweat or, you know, what you feel comfortable with. But sometimes I'll shower more than once, or sometimes I'll just, you know, bird bath or freshen up, and that helps. But just going days without showering or bathing, absolutely no. That is an absolute no. Because you're peeing and pooping, and you might have splashback from the poop, and if you don't use wipes, even if you do use wipes, you can't keep wiping. You got to take a bath. You got to take a shower. Yeah, you're peeing, and that you just want to shower every day or twice a day, or if you're only doing it once a day, you want to make sure that you're freshening up in between. Okay, that leads me to my last thing, and this is something that I mentioned in almost all of my videos, but the last thing would be your diet. Of course, you know, drink your water, eat your fruits and vegetables. But yeah, you having a terrible diet can cause your pH balance to be off. Having a lot of processed things, fried things, and sugary things, especially sugar, because yeast love sugar. So if you have a super sugary diet, And I don't necessarily just mean sweets, because I don't know if you guys pay attention or not, but a lot of processed like freezer foods, although it's not technically a sweet, it does have, a lot of them do have high amounts of sugar. So definitely pay attention to that. More home cooked meals and water and fresh fruits and vegetables definitely will help a lot in the hygiene area, because it's not always what you put on your body, it's a lot of times what you put in your body. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know in the comment section below if y'all have any questions, or if I missed anything and y'all want to help the girlies out. Y'all mentioned some things that that can throw off your pH balance that I didn't mention. Leave any suggestions for new videos. I will be posting every Monday, so you can look forward to seeing me. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.